Yes.
Thank God. All right, it worked. We'll see if it worked. Let me go ahead and post. Actually, I don't like that photo. It's just weird. Let me go ahead and send it. If you want to post on your story too.
Somebody's on.
Yeah, someone just got on. I'm going to go ahead and paste it.
We got something special tonight. It's been a very long week for Christian and I, so.
It was a long hour with this freaking computer.
If our enthusiasm isn't quite as high as it normally is, then that's why. You guys will know why.
No, we'll try and be enthusiastic. We were wrestling with this computer for an hour trying to get it up, so we apologize. We're a little bit later than usual.
All right, now we got two on.
I'll give it a few minutes. We're going to be doing an unboxing of some stuff that Cody purchased. It's perfect because his wife's not here, so she won't kill him.
Literally perfect. She's in Wisconsin right now visiting her family, so this is good.
Yeah, so we have that.
And then your woman's out with her bachelorettes.
Yeah, she's at her bachelorette party. So the boys all on tonight. And then we have a few, just going to be talking about the Disney Plus shows coming up.
Yeah.
And just going to have some open discussion with anyone on. Again, usually we do this on Thursdays. But we did, that didn't work out yesterday.
And I'm going to do, yeah, exactly. And I'm going to do a little bit of a breakdown before we get into the Star Wars talk. With a quick overview of what I've noticed with WandaVision so far. I mean, it's kind of weird because this is the first time that we've had MCU content to talk about for, over a year at least. It's been actually almost 2 years because, well, I take that back. Spider-Man was actually the last technically MCU. See, I'm not used to it. We're at a different location. If you guys can't tell, too, we're at my place tonight because my wife is out of town and baby girl's sleeping. So I gotta be a good dad. Guess it's probably not a good idea to dish her. As much as I love doing the show.
I mean, the only alternative would be drag her out of bed at 9:30 p.m. over to someone else's apartment that she doesn't
that
know.
will not go well, too, especially because she didn't take a nap today. So, okay. All right, well, we should probably get started.
Yeah.
All righty. We're going to get started on our usual. And I'm hoping more people start to filter in because if not, they're going to miss out on some cool unboxings. I got some of those figures in, like Christian said, but I'm not going to tell you what they are until after the episode or at least towards the end. So, update on new products. So we have a couple of things, and I'm happy to report that we have more Hot Toy announces. And wow, am I surprised that we got this Hot Toy as soon as we did. We haven't even gotten a Cara Dune. We haven't gotten a new look Boba Fett. We haven't gotten Bo-Katan. And now, like, they just decide to drop this, like, in the most random time ever, too. Like, I mean, super random. Did not expect them to drop it. But we have a Dark Trooper, guys.
And I have a theory as to why they dropped that now.
You think?
Number one is I bet you the others are in the works. From a marketing perspective, a Dark Trooper is a background character. There's a bunch of them, and it's what, $260 if I saw correctly. So point is if there is no hype, the hype has died down. To be real, I would not spend $260 on a Dark Trooper.
Yeah, neither would I.
I'll get a bunch of them.
I'll get the Black Series version, but I don't think I'm going to get the Hot Toy.
Yeah, so I think the reason they're doing that now is because in one of the images they tease a Mandalorian Luke. Let's hope that's real and wasn't just a mock-up for an image. But point is there's still the hype from the season finale, season 2, and around Luke Skywalker. So if they're going to release something at that price point that's not a major character, from a marketing perspective, it makes sense to do that now. The other thing, too, is the others, I would argue, are a little bit more advanced design in terms of face sculpt, making them look human right? So versus the other ones, which are robots. So I think that's another reason. It could be just taking longer. Regardless, it's still going to take another year for it to actually show up on shelves. Or I guess online to purchase.
2022, guys, 2022. That's the one thing that sucks about collecting Hot Toys is when they have these awesome drops, you still know you have to wait at least a year, sometimes even 2. They're still waiting, and it's driving me nuts. The one Hot Toy that I've wanted more than any other Hot Toy is the Endgame Captain America, and we're still waiting on him. We're still waiting on him.
He hasn't been released.
He was announced literally April of 2019. That was before Endgame came out. Actually, I take that back. It was March of 2019, and he's still not out yet.
I wonder if the Justice League ones came out, because that would be funny if not all the Justice League ones were out yet, and it's like they actually get released by the time the Snyder Cut comes around. Like
it would be pretty crazy.
They'll make the second release of Justice League. It'll be when they come out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have all of them, but I'm not positive. I know that they released Superman this year, so that's pretty cool. Actually, I almost got that one because it's that cool looking. But needless to say, yes, they did They dropped the Dark Trooper, and I knew it was only a matter of time. But yeah, I mean that's a good point to what you said. Like they want to milk that cow as long as they can because they're probably not going to have Dark Troopers in the next season. So.
And that photo confirmed Luke Skywalker had a black cape. So when people were debating over the custom that I was making of the Lego, whether it was
it's definitely
black or brown cape, I'm glad to say that I chose right in ordering the correct color cape. So so definitely black cape, argument settled, not very dark brown like he was in Return of the Jedi.
So that reminds me that I've been meaning to say this too on the show. They have actually had it where there's been a debate since Empire Strikes Back was first released if Han's Hoth coat was a dark navy or if it was brown. And if you look at the 2 Black Series releases they have of that Han Solo, when the one when he's riding the Tauntaun, originally the first release is a dark navy, but then there was like some more debate again. It kind of like sparked that debate when they released that one.
Is his Hoth uniform?
In his jacket, his Hoth jacket, yeah.
What is it in Battlefront? Because he has his outfit in Battlefront. That would probably be a good indicator too.
Yeah, I like to say it's brown. But the newest release, the archive release that literally just dropped like a month ago, is brown. And they confirmed it. So, but I just thought it was funny because like it's very like pretty much the same as the whole Luke Brown versus Black cloak. But
it's like the dress, but like the Star Wars version, remember the whole thing?
Exactly. Well, and Hot Toys guys, don't be misled. Like that they tease that. They tease that Luke because they're gonna drop a new Luke. So I'm not gonna be paying for it because I still have my Return of the Jedi one.
I would pay for it.
I literally all I have to do is pop a customized 1/6 scale black cape and I'm good. And that's
technically he has an undershirt on in the Mandalorian.
Which that one, the Return of the Jedi one though, definitely comes with it. So I'm happy about that. So the only difference now that I look about it is I think the Return of the Jedi version's hair sculpt is a little bit longer than what the Mandalorians would be. He has a little. He had his hair cut
shorter in the Mandalorian.
Yeah, he did. So there's those. They finally announced the new wave of Rise of Skywalker Funko Pops, which was cool.
They have black eye Ben Solo. Did you see that?
I don't know. Yes,
the Ben Solo has like a black eye.
I saw that, and which that one was cool. Loved the Rey, both Reys actually, and then. I think, and again, I buy pops every now and then, but I'm really not like too crazy about them anymore. This wave, I might have to pick up.
No, they actually do look good. Like
they do.
They still look like pops, but they're like different. They're like there's something different about them. They have a shelf presence, if that makes sense.
They do. The colors on them are really unique, and I love that Palpatine. I cannot wait to get that. If there's one I'm going to get out of that wave, it's probably going to be that Palpatine, and then it may probably have to be that the Rey with the yellow lightsaber.
So I have a quick story that reminds me, like between the comments when we were talking about. So last weekend. Was my bachelor party. So it was a weekend long in Orlando. And one of the things was we went to Star Wars Land at Galaxy's Edge. And for some of the groomsmen, it was their first time being there. They were never able to make it out. Everyone's so busy. So we were there. I will say we were able to activate Chewbacca mode on our 6th or 7th time going on Smuggler's Run that day. So it is possible. It is still working as of 2021. So you can do that. But you know how there's like the store where you get the lightsabers, right? Like
Yeah.
Doc or whatever, Doc Ondar. So my brother has been wanting Anakin's lightsaber. I bought Luke, and he was picking between Luke and Anakin. He said, "Okay, I'll go get Anakin's because you already have Luke's." So we wait in this line. We get up to the front, and he points to Anakin's lightsaber, in the display, and says, "Can I see Anakin's lightsaber?" And for perspective, they will take the lightsaber out, hand it to you, and let you like hold 3 of them. That's like the COVID restrictions. So what they'll do is they take your temperature when you enter the park, and then when you enter the store, you have to use hand sanitizer before touching each of them.
Which is smart. Which is,
It is.
if there's one restriction that they're going to have, it's really good that they're going to be doing that.
Because you want to touch it to feel it in your hand, but it's still like the best way you can do that. So anyways, he points at Anakin's and says, "That's one of the 3 that I want to see. Can I see Anakin's?" And the lady just like looks at him behind the counter and goes like, "That's Rey. That's not
It's
Anakin.
Anakin's
That's Rey's."
lightsaber.
And she goes, "That is Rey. We don't have Anakin." And then he's like, "No, that's Anakin's lightsaber too." And then she goes, "No, Rey." And then he's like, "Fine, I'll take Rey's lightsaber." And so she went and grabbed Anakin's lightsaber out of thing. So it's just funny because he did this intentionally. He wanted to know like if the employees knew that it was like the same lightsaber. But
and now it really is. It really is just like Anakin's, and then it was passed down to Luke's because Rey has her own lightsaber.
Yeah,
like Rey's lightsaber is not the blue one anymore.
It's the black hilt with the
which
gold.
is so badass, which is amazing. But yes, it's 100% Anakin's, especially because
yeah, you don't call it Luke.
If you're our age,
Luke.
if you're our age, a little older or just a little younger, you grew up with like Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones, so it's Anakin's.
Yeah,
come on.
There's a question here before we get back. What's your favorite Jedi? Because it sounds like you guys.
Yeah, it's Luke.
Yeah, my favorite Jedi
Luke.
is. I'm tied between Luke and Yoda. So every birthday, Brianna has to get me something Yoda themed. So this year she got me a lamp that's like Baby Yoda. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, she always has to get me something Yoda themed. So I would say it's between Yoda and Luke are tied for my number 1 spot.
Yeah, I think it's definitely Luke. The more I think about it, I don't know if I really even have a close second. I just love Luke. Right now I have like 4 hot toys that are all different versions of Luke.
Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, like I think my favorite is my Return of the Jedi, and then Creighton, which is badass. But and I will be posting, by the way. I did get a sideshow Luke from Empire Strikes Back, and it's him in his snowspeeder Hoth suit. It's really cool. But yeah, I definitely would say Luke.
I low-key kind of want the Kylo Ren one. Yeah, so I think that's Carter. They had the Kylo Ren one there, and we took it out, and Brianna held it, and basically she liked it because Kylo Ren's like her main on Battlefront, but it had a nice weight to it, but it didn't look as premium as the other ones in hand. It still looked really nice, don't get me wrong, but when you see like the steel colored ones or
Mace
aluminum
Windu's
colored ones, it has that wow factor.
Yeah.
Do they have Darth Mauls? They did have Darth Mauls. So they have all of them like in the display, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're all in stock. So they give you either like a flyer, usually, pre-COVID, but now it's a little QR code, and you can scan it, and it'll tell you which ones they have in stock before you wait like an hour in the line.
Yeah, Mace Windu sold out, so don't get too excited.
Oh, it was there when I was there.
Did it?
Yeah.
It came back?
Yeah, like the week after.
Wow.
I was there. Yeah, the past 2 times I was there, they had Mace Windu.
They were sold out when I went both times, so that's a pretty big deal, actually.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh yeah, we have Mace." They were like, "Here's the ones in stock," and they had Mace Windu.
It's heavy too. Did you hold it?
I did not hold it. One of my groomsmen held it.
Yeah, so. It's heavy. It's really heavy. It's like probably the same weight as Kylo Ren's. Mm-hmm. Technically, I have Kylo's, and you guys have seen Ahsoka's, the one I posted on our Instagram story a while ago. But yeah, they got some good stuff. I can't wait to go back. It's like I can never get enough of Hollywood Studios, honestly. So I'm jealous. You got to go 2 weekends in a row.
How much are they? It varies. The cheapest lightsaber I think is around $120. That, and keep in mind these prices are just the hilt, and the most expensive is $200. Based on my recollection, the $200 is Ahsoka's because it comes with both hilts.
Yeah.
Darth Maul's I think was around 130 or so, but that is only like one.
You only get one side.
One blade, like when he had his OG version.
I just can't wait until they like release a hilt from his like Rebels version or his Clone Wars one.
I'd like that, but I want to see Palpatine and Yoda first. I don't know why why do we not have the big bad guy, and why do we not have the Grand Master of the Jedi's lightsabers?
I don't know.
I mean, nothing against all these other characters, but you would have thought when it comes to mine, they would have had like those out early on.
Totally.
Also, the Obi-Wan one is Episode 2 Obi-Wan, not Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan. So I would have totally bought it if it was Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan, but it is not.
I do not like the Attack of the Clones one.
It's kind of bland.
It's very bland. I remember like growing up when I like my cousins and I were big Star Wars fans, and we would like run around our neighborhood like with each had like a different lightsaber. My go-to was always Dooku's because I love the curve. But my cousin, his favorite was always the Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan, and I never really cared for that one.
I mean, nothing against Qui-Gon, but even Qui-Gon's is that kind of.
Yeah, so it's bland, but for me personally, because that was my very first like lightsaber toy I ever got. I was probably like
Qui-Gon?
4 or 5. It was Qui-Gon.
I think ours might have been Qui-Gon with it. It was like
it was Qui-Gon. So
did you have the one that you like?
Yeah,
you like
the green
press a
one.
button and
then
then
it goes out.
Yeah. We might have had the same one.
Yeah, that was my very first ever ever Star Wars piece of merchandise. Now that I think about it, and I mean, again, I was little because that was like a couple years after the first one came out.
Mm-hmm. It might have been. I want to say it was Qui-Gon. I think it was Qui-Gon. It was either Qui-Gon, Episode 2 Obi-Wan, or Luke, and I'm pretty sure it was not Luke because otherwise it still probably would have been in the house somewhere. I think it was Qui-Gon.
So. I mean, as far as other news goes with, Disney and everything, I know you've been busy too. I haven't really guys got even a second to barely look at my phone in any kind of breaking news. What I can tell you is that since last week, WandaVision, we've had 3 episodes, and just because I'm the MCU guy, I'll give you a few of my thoughts because it's just nice to talk MCU for the first time with new content.
I heard it was weird.
It's very eccentric. I mean, it's very eccentric, but it's going somewhere. And if you guys saw today's episode, it's really, you're going to start to see something happen. And maybe I'll save some more of the details for next week because I'm sure not all of you have gotten a chance if you watch it. To see this new episode, but it's very eccentric. It is. The first 2 episodes were just but I kind of knew anyways that it was going to be the type of storyline that builds as the episodes go on, and then it's towards when you get to the last 2 or 3 episodes, it's going to really pick up, and then it's got the potential to be really good. But you got to kind of stick with it at first. It's almost like The Mandalorian from season 1. To be honest,
I heard that someone said the style was a copy of The Mandalorian. It was like, they plagiarized The Mandalorian's progression or something.
About WandaVision?
They said the style, or they said there was some. It said there was some. They said that they would look just like it or copied it. I don't know what they were talking about.
Yeah.
I haven't watched any of it, so I don't know. I just remember seeing that.
Whoever said that, I can tell you firsthand, it's not true.
Guess what? It was someone in the news media. All right.
They're good at telling lies, so I don't care what side of the aisle you sit on. They're good at telling.
It doesn't
lies.
matter. One way or another, the news outlets are
they're all biased people. But anyways. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think, whoever made that story up, that's a bunch of bogus. It's very, but you know what I do like about it, what I really do like about the WandaVision, it's very unique and different. So it's strange, but fresh. It's something new we haven't gotten before. And I love the vintage plays that they have. The first episode's supposed to be I Love Lucy.
Is it all in black and white or something?
The first 2 episodes are, and then the 3rd episode is the first where it's in color. It's supposed to be going through the different decades.
Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Make you think it's black and white.
Yeah, except there's no terrorizing monkeys. Those things freak me out.
Or witches getting crushed by houses, right? That we've seen.
Yeah. Speaking of Disney, okay, so guys, I was just like texting a friend a couple days ago, and he sent me an article about how much Epcot's changed. He's like, they've sucked the magic out of it. And I'm like, kind of. But you got to remember, they're revamping it to make it bigger and better than ever. Mm-hmm. But what my point is that I like happen to think about the new rides that they've implemented. And one of them was Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And the fact that they got rid of the Great Movie Ride, which the Great Movie Ride was awesome. And since you said Wizard of Oz, it reminded me of how freaking terrorizing the the alien part of that ride was when the alien was like coming down from the ceiling. Yeah. That was freaky.
And then there was I forget who it was, but it was like one of the astronauts was like looking around the corner.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Sigourney Weaver's character. But yeah, that was really creepy. And then you have freaking like all the munchkins and then the what do you call it? Like the witch and all them come out. Like
I will say I hated the Mickey ride.
I know. I remember you saying that last.
I hated it. I went on again. I didn't know that there was a video beforehand either because like they just had us walking through, so maybe that would have changed my perspective. But it was
they have a video.
Apparently,
they must say they stopped it though, probably for COVID because they didn't want people like
waiting. I guess
getting him. Yeah.
It was cool technology wise, not to deviate, but it was cool technology wise. But it felt I don't know how to make it not to say this.
You felt like you were in a trip.
It felt like an acid trip. Like it felt like they put a bunch of cool technology, but oh my god, it was like an acid trip. Like you go through it, there was a lack of coherency. It was like next thing you know, you're like underwater, and there was also lava, and like it's just like technology is cool, but like it was a bunch of random things that felt like strung together. They were like it seemed like an opportunity to say, look at the technology we have, and then
that's exactly what it was.
And that was it.
And they're like, well, who have we not done a ride on yet? And they're like, well, it'd be nice to give, kudos to the original gang that started this all. But yeah, I mean, I'm not like, I really love the technology part. It was actually, to me personally, I didn't have high expectations, so it was better than I thought.
I had high expectations. I was like, that's because I was like, the Great Movie Ride was awesome. I'm like, they're replacing it. That means this thing must be like baller. And then like I walked in and went to that, and then I was like, yikes.
Did you go on Star Tours at all?
I did.
I love how they change up the maps and they've updated it now to where it goes through all 9 episodes.
Yeah.
And it's only a matter of time before they start to throw like Mando and all the extra canon in there.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, they made this change after the movie came out, but Exegol's in there now.
Love the Exegol. That's my favorite map.
Old Lando's on there.
Yeah. That one's my favorite map. I love the Exegol one. The crate one's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
So without further ado, we are going to get into just kind of the meat of this discussion tonight. And this is more of, I feel like it's kind of like almost more of a Zen mood tonight versus our normal.
Detoxing end of the week. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we're not really jumping out of our seats of excitement or anything, or dying to share anything. But, we do have a couple things that we would like to address, especially given the massive lineup that they gave us a couple weeks ago, or it's been like a month now. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about both the Acolyte and Rangers of the New Republic. So we got into the Acolyte a little bit of what it could possibly be, but kind of like jog our memory. What do you think? What do you think it's going to be about? Because we've never gotten anything in this timeline.
It's going to be dark side focused, I think. They're going to make something different because everything's been either an anti-hero or hero perspective. I think it's going to be dark side. Not saying that they can't do it in an anti-hero light, but I do think it's going to be focused more on the dark side. I think it's going to take place before episode 1.
It will. Yeah.
I think it is going to focus around Palpatine in some capacity. I don't know if he will be the main character. Ian McDiarmid's pretty old. He came back for Rise of Skywalker. I could see him making a cameo. Here's how I see this happening. It's going to take place before Revenge of the Sith, Phantom Menace. I don't know how many years before. We're probably going to see Plagueis. We might get cameo from young Yoda. I think in the very final episode of The Acolyte, we're going to see it's going to be like Phantom Menace timeline, and I think they're going to have Ian McDiarmid
could be
show up just at the end.
They're gonna want to
bring it up to speed. So I feel like he'll show up at the end. They're probably not gonna use him if there's a young Palpatine. They wouldn't keep de-aging him in every episode. So they were gonna get someone else.
Do you think that we could we could get maybe more of a backstory of Maul?
I don't know if I see that. I'm kind of mauled out. Not permanently, but I feel like Clone Wars, it was like, oh, Darth Maul, and then it was like, the Han Solo movie, and it was like, oh, Darth Maul, and like that wouldn't surprise me. Wow factor if Darth Maul shows up again, he might, and a little bit like I said towards the end, how he comes under Palpatine's wing,
Right.
But I don't want the focus to be like Darth Maul. I think it's going to be focused more on Plagueis. I think, looking at the direction they went, they gave us Luke Skywalker probably because people weren't happy with his character in episode 8 and 7. So, responding to that on a similar note, there was a prominent theory back when the sequels came out that Snoke was Plagueis. I held that theory since The Force Awakens.
I thought it was possible.
I thought Snoke was Plagueis. He had a gash in his head. I was like, this is the guy Palpatine thought he killed in his sleep. Surprise, he's not dead. That gash in the head is like leftover reminder of that. I thought he was going to be Plagueis. He wasn't. He was just a botched clone. So I could see them following a similar manner to Luke and making that sort of come to fruition by giving us Plagueis in the Acolyte.
Yeah, and I think something too that would be interesting is like, I do think we'll get Plagueis in some form, which will be cool because fans have wanted to see him on screen for a while. I know, like, I'll enjoy it, but kind of to your point about their Snoke and Plagueis' look, you almost wonder if they're going to do that simply because they want to show the resemblance that him and Snoke have. In other words, we know that Palpatine in his resurrection, like, he created Snoke ultimately. He was genetically engineered, and could it be that Palpatine tried to make him look like his old master Plagueis?
Uh-huh.
I think that would be kind of a unique tie-in.
Mm-hmm.
I also think too, like, Acolyte could be about Darth Revan.
Uh-huh.
I think that would be a really cool thing, especially because it's an Old Republic type of thing.
There was a rumor or a strong fan push. You know how rumors are. Someone says something and it spreads like wildfire. I don't even know what to call it anymore. There was a thought that, like, get Keanu Reeves to play Darth Revan.
That would be pretty cool. I would love to see Keanu Reeves in a role like that.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. I do think it's going to be Plagueis. On the note of, like, the whole cloning and, like, Plagueis and stuff like that, and Palpatine, it does seem within the past week, supposedly, again, this is probably going to get thrown out the door next week, I think his name is Lars Mikkelsen, the one Mikkelsen brother that played Thrawn in Rebels, the voice actor, supposedly did get confirmed to reprise his role in live-action Thrawn.
Really?
If you saw that, that was what came out this week, supposedly.
You know what? I think I did see that. I saw it very briefly. Yeah. I couldn't remember if it was this week or last week.
Yeah, it was this week. Again, take it with a grain of salt because you saw people like RDJ. I said that's going to be fake news.
Yeah, that's fake news. I don't believe it.
And because he's stuck as Iron Man. It's the same thing with Daniel Radcliffe and Harry Potter. Like,
did you say Iron Man?
What? RDJ is stuck as Iron Man.
Yeah, did you say? I mean, I just think it's interesting. You guys, like, just keep going. It'll all come to fruition. Just trust me.
Because, like, when I take a look at him, I think Iron Man. When I take a look at Daniel Radcliffe, I immediately think of Harry Potter. So I think trying to convince me that he's Thrawn painted blue, like, no.
See, what I was trying to get at was that would have been like a perfect segue to move into the last portion of the show because, this. And that's a little bit of foreshadowing. So you guys can take this information and think about what I'm trying to say. But don't worry, it'll come in time. You're just gonna want to stay on until the end. I'll just say that. Yeah. You're just gonna want to stay on until the end. Anyways, back to Star Wars. Yes, I think overall it would be awesome to see Palpatine, like maybe like a little bit younger of a Palpatine.
Uh-huh. I think he's going to be teenager to 20s.
Yeah, like much younger. It would be cool because we'd get more context into his character, and it would just give him already more significance than he already has. And then, of course, they're going to, think about how much a live action young Palpatine hot toy would sell.
I wonder how if they're going to change his background. Similar, remember I said Boba. I said Boba is going to be painted as an anti-hero. He's going to be different, and it happened. I wonder if they're going to craft a backstory. If Palpatine's in this, it wouldn't surprise me if they craft a backstory to make you feel more sympathetic to him.
I think they could, and I'd love it because I think just hear me out on this. Like, the Empire is evil, right? And you should never do what they like. They're oppressive at the end of the day. But there are a few things that they say about like law and order that it kind of makes you take a step back and be like, well, I mean, even though they're oppressive, which I would never, again, recommend this, there is some logic there that it's kind of like, I mean, if you're twisted and evil and in some way, it kind of makes sense, their point of view.
Lightning.
Yeah, and shoot lightning. But like, that's
point of view, Anakin.
But Palpatine's whole premise, like his character, is all about making you fear him into submissiveness, into surrender, right? And so you wonder what they could, maybe he had like a bad childhood growing up, or maybe he got smacked around as a kid and he became like mad, or maybe like the world around him like was so chaotic, and that's why he felt it was his duty to learn the ways of the dark side, because he wanted to create law and order, and through that they would find peace.
That's what I said. I think they could do something like that. It wouldn't surprise me. It's interesting. I don't want to bring in like other superheroes again. Whether or not you liked it, that's up to you. But this, if they go this way, some of the things that they're doing now is almost reminiscent of what Zack Snyder tried to paint in Batman versus Superman, in the context of, if you remember, if you think back to that plot, they structured it so that you could agree with Batman or you could agree with Superman, and it's similar to Civil War as well.
I was about to say Civil War. Yeah.
So we've seen this.
You keep dropping hints. Why do you keep saying Iron Man?
So we've seen this. We've seen this element before, and it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, obviously, Batman and Superman are both, good in mass media, and same with Iron Man and Captain America. Obviously, the Empire is not. But point is, from a story crafting element, I could definitely see them making it so you could at least understand the other side, because that adds another layer of depth. No matter what it is, understanding someone else's perspective.
Like Thanos. Thanos is a perfect example.
Exactly. Yeah.
Twisted and evil. Absolutely. Wiping out half of existence. Yeah, that's pretty damn bad. But like, when he talks about it from his point of view and why he believes it,
he justifies it.
He justifies it in a way that kind of makes you think, well, it's like I can see why you would think that. He watched his planet suffer and go hungry and starving, and so he makes up a good point at the beginning of Avengers Endgame. He's like, now, or I can't remember if it was at the end of Infinity War or at the beginning of Endgame, but he basically says now, I think it's when he was talking to Gamora. He's like, now that there's like wars going on, people are starving around the world, and because of me, because I basically wiped half of them out, now we can they can live, and there's enough resources to go around, and there's more peace.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those things that because just in general in media and sci-fi, there's some movies and stuff that the bad guy has to know that they're the bad guy, intentionally wrongdoing. But then there's other movies and other villains, like the ones we've talked about, where they don't see themselves as the bad guy, purposely trying to screw up the world. They justify their actions, so it just adds another layer of depth. So that'd be interesting if the Acolyte goes that way. I think it's certainly possible. I don't know if they'll do that, but that will be interesting. I almost wonder. There's one other thing with the Acolyte that I wonder about that I'll share here in a second. But if you want to go ahead and give your thoughts.
Yeah, so I think I would just love to see again. I would love to see them Thanos Palpatine. So give him more of that backstory, make you feel a sense of empathy, or at least get more of a point of view of why he became the way he was. But the thing though, the thing is, and this is what they did so brilliantly with Thanos, is you've kind of found yourself in Infinity War at times not necessarily siding with Thanos, but again, like understanding that. And he's still the villain, still super strong, but like you don't really see him as much of a tyrant at the end when he like looks out into the sunset. And that's brilliant how they brought those emotions to light. But then a funny thing happens is they bring you back down to earth and you see Thanos a little bit younger towards the end of Endgame, and he's just like pure evil. Like, yeah, he still had the same intention, right? But he was like evil and purposely going after the Avengers for trying to bring things back. So really, in other words, it didn't have so much to do. You kind of learn that Thanos wants to like change the world for the better necessarily. You learn that he wants to do it because he wants to play God, right? And so in that way, he sort of becomes like the true villain again. And you see like how aggressive he is. So, I mean, Palpatine will always be, he will always be like the Sith Lord. He will always be like one of the big bads of all time.
He's worse than Darth Vader. Darth Vader was morally confused is what he was.
Well, he was brainwashed.
Exactly. He was brainwashed. So one more possible thing that came to mind with the Acolyte, which I don't think I've discussed with you yet. So I still think the lead most likely is that Palpatine Plagueis to some degree. But Acolyte, definitions from Oxford Languages, and if you don't know what Acolyte means, I'll go ahead and read you the definition if there's any younger viewers out there. It says, a person assisting the celebrant in a religious service. Obviously, I guess you could count Jedi Sith as a religion, but more so on this one, an assistant or follower. So I had another thought that could have been something a lot of people haven't thought of, and that was if the Acolyte is actually the canonization of Starkiller.
Really?
I had that thought because technically he would have been an acolyte of Darth Vader.
It's true.
So I don't think it's likely, but I wouldn't be shocked if suddenly we find out the Acolyte takes place, during original trilogy.
It could, but I'm pretty sure that they've already
confirmed
that it's going to take place like in the Old Republic
era.
So I probably wouldn't side with you on that one, but I'm just like making like I can't remember. I just remember seeing something like that.
I can't remember if it was someone just saying, oh, this means it has to take place in
I don't know if it was some like a word of mouth I heard it or if it was something I saw, but I'm a pretty visual person and I'm almost positive I saw like a confirmed article or something that said that it would take place then.
Okay.
Next, before we get into the big unboxings, Rangers of the Republic. Of the New Republic, I should say. Rangers of the New Republic. I'm excited for this one. I really am. I'm excited for this one. I think we will get Cara Dune in some capacity because we do know that for a fact this is going to take place in around the same time period as Mando. After the fall of the Empire. My guess is this will actually be a big show when we're talking about the fall of the Empire to the rise of the First Order. They're going to be pilots and policemen of the galaxy that are trying to kill off remnants of the Empire.
You could say guardians of the galaxy.
Yeah, right. But you're going to see, I have a feeling, you're going to start to see something similar to what the one guy says to Cara Dune in Mando of season 2 was, something's going on here. Like, these aren't just isolated incidents. And he's suspicious. And so I think that line was huge. And that's going to play a huge piece into this show and ultimately into the bigger story as to how the First Order comes to be.
So I agree with you. I think Cara Dune is going to be in it. Otherwise, they're going to do all original characters. I originally I was skeptical of Cara Dune being in it, but now I see an easy way that that's going to happen, and it's going to stem to. So if you think back to season 2 finale, Mandalorian, they're all on the deck, and then Luke comes in, takes Grogu, and says peace, and gets out of there. We know from the end credit scene. So there is an end credit scene. I know a lot of people missed it. If you didn't already see it, I'll give you a second to like pause this or skip ahead. But
well, we've already talked about Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah,
so
Boba
if
Fett.
you're a regular here, which I know the few of you that are still on are, you know what happened.
Yeah, so basically we see Fennec with Boba Fett, but like we don't know what happened to the others. So my suspicion is they did that intentionally, so you can go ahead. So the writers for next season have some time to think about how they're crafting that, right? So I think what's going to happen is we are going to get. They're going to pull Cara Dune off of the deck. So Cara Dune is going to come off. From that final scene, she's going to go her separate way into Rangers of the Republic, and then what's going to happen is Mandalorian and Bo-Katan, and I forget her name, but the other Mandalorian, they're all going to go to Mandalore and deal with that situation that's going on there.
Guys, there's like a massive red ant that I just saw crawl out of this box. So I apologize. You guys are getting to witness, and I don't have a fear of bugs, but like those things hurt like a bee if they
A
get
bee?
you.
That's the wrong kind of bug.
You know what I mean.
All right. So anyway, yeah, you're gonna look as red as this guy in the comments. See, but yeah, that's my theory. Do you have anything else on Rangers or before we do the unboxing?
I don't think so. I mean, I think
They're
it's
getting it up.
that's pretty much. Plus, my train of thought's like completely thrown off. The fact that I literally turn and I see this like a giant red ant. Now I can't find it. So that's great. But no, I think that's it. As far as theory goes, yeah, I think we're good. I think we're ready to move into this next segment.
All right, time for the final segment. If you want to bring your boxes up here,
I would love to. If I can find this dang red ant.
I'll just leave it. We'll find it after.
Okay. So I'm going to let this guy do the honors of unboxing this one. This is an oldie but goodie, but it is a older, I mean, old is relative. I mean, it's maybe 10 years old, so from like 2008 maybe. It's a Sideshow exclusive Leia is Bosch, however you say it. So he's going to unbox this right now, folks.
All right. I haven't looked at this yet, so I have no idea what it looks like.
This is you guys. We're opening this live, so this is new for us too.
All right, so it looks like there's 2 boxes in here.
Yeah, they usually package them pretty well. And you have a hot toy, so you know how they do this.
Okay. All right, so we got Leia right here. We get her out. There she is.
Ooh.
And I'll just go ahead. Now she's taped. I'll leave you to do that.
For an old Sideshow too, that head sculpt is really good.
Yeah, like if you don't have any of these, Hot Toys and Sideshow are both good, but Hot Toys does miles better work when it comes to the sculpt.
Yeah, it's honestly not even close. But I gotta be honest, Sideshow did a really good job with this Leia. Let's see. And this is pretty like sturdy piece. I'll say that. Don't want to scratch the face sculpt here. First, let's take the helmet out, which this helmet's so awesome. I love this Bosch helmet. I think this kind of makes the Leia look that I love for this one so much. I love that. And the clothing that they put on this figure too is actually really nice because it's really soft. I kind of like that. Yeah, this is nice. So let's see.
as opposed to like a rubbery feel.
Yeah, I mean, this feels like brand new. Like it wasn't even displayed. So that's
Did you get this from the trade?
really interesting. I didn't. So I actually found this on eBay for like a really good price,
Okay.
and I couldn't pass it up. I mean, for a sideshow hot toy, like a sideshow figure, really, especially an old one that's kind of rare to find. It was pretty good price. So there's just a kind of a look.
Now, is this made by Sideshow?
Yeah, this is a sideshow exclusive.
Because I was gonna say I didn't see if it is on there on the package.
So yeah, so like you could see, I mean, again, the lighting's not perfect and it's kind of tough to do like close-ups, but yeah,
The contours of her face are like good.
yeah, it's very good. It's a very sturdy figure. You're able to, what I love about it is kind of articulation they give these figures. It's really nice. You're able to pretty much put them in about like any pose that you'd want.
Yeah.
So, and this, it also too comes with a couple other pieces. It comes with like the staff that she uses during this scene. Comes with the thermal detonator that she holds in her hand, which is cool. And I know you're a big fan of Return of the Jedi,
Oh, yeah.
so you can appreciate this figure.
We do have to spin her leg around because right now her leg is like the knee is backwards.
So clearly it has been displayed, but it's in like perfect condition. So
I'll leave you to do that. Figure out the
yeah, that's fine.
there. I got it to do that. You can do this.
So let's take a look at some of her accessories here. And again, this is a pretty rare figure, so I was happy I found it. I love my Black Series version of the Bosch look. So the fact that I was able to get my hands on an older Sideshow one is awesome. And I don't know if Hot Toys plans on making one anytime soon.
I would go ahead and spray this with a protective coat because it is giving the rubbery feel. So there's some rubber deterioration spray you can spray on that.
Yeah, it's definitely
It's older.
probably because it's so old. I mean, if you guys think about it, 2008 was over 10 years ago. So
Oh god, Revenge of the Sith is 15 years old, 15, 16.
that is crazy. All right, let's see. Wow, they really package these old sideshows up with a lot
Here,
of
I'm gonna
tape.
get rid of that stuff on my hands.
Boy, I apologize, guys. This is really like, okay, I think I got it. It's a miracle. And there's so many like little pieces too that come with it. So I'm not really sure what this is. I think this is supposed to be like a jetpack that she just, well, I think she has, yeah. So this is like,
Did she have that on? No, she did. Because I
She did.
remember in Battlefront she has that on her back.
yep. So this is like her, I guess you could say jetpack in a way, or like,
I don't know what that was.
I don't know what you
Like a
consider
plane?
it. Some kind of weird tank. This cape too kind of drapes pretty low. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that or if I gotta adjust it.
Yeah, I don't remember where that is. I'm trying to think back to her character model.
And I can look at my Black Series figure, but I mean, I originally wanted to display it with the helmeted look, but honestly, I really like that head sculpt for the
Yeah.
sideshow. Here's the staff, which is nice. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
The hair feels pretty interesting. Like it's definitely, you can tell it's like not like a cloth, but it's like feels like a different texture than this plastic. Like the texture plastics are different.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. I'm gonna pop it off just to see what the other head sculpt looks like.
And just like that, the screen is rated R.
Although we managed to do that without any kind of gore. So maybe it'll still keep a PG-13 rating.
You have the helmet in there.
Yeah, helmet's right here. There we go. All right, so let's pop this thing on.
Here's the head sculpt there.
So this piece actually like comes off. That's kind of interesting.
What does? Oh,
Which
how does that work?
I guess you just snap it back into place is what I'm thinking.
Or it could be old. Maybe it was originally glued and just needs re-glued.
Could be, but it looks like pretty easy to put back on. Might need to be glued again. So
We'll have to do a research on that and see.
is it supposed to?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to.
I think this to me looks like it's glued and just old.
Yeah. Again, guys, this is an older figure, so makes sense. Go. All right, so there's your look at the helmeted look. And yeah, it works pretty good. Probably going to glue that together just so it doesn't do that. But overall, I really like it.
Like that tidbit right there, just so it doesn't do that.
So there you go. And then probably do like, it comes with the thermal detonator, which is like a smaller piece. I don't want to take it out now
Yeah, you'll drop that.
because I'm going to drop it.
The red ant will find it.
Dude, that red ant it's huge. I'm like,
Huge.
yeah, it is. I need to find it after we're done here because I'm not getting bit by that either. Yeah, that definitely, that plastic really is wearing. It's like really.
Yeah, that it feels like if you ever had like an old PlayStation controller or like Xbox controller, and it gets like rubbery over time. It's how the legs feel. So there's a spray for that. So definitely, if you didn't know that, there is I forget what it's called, but there is a spray that you can spray on that to protect it. So do that.
Yeah, I'm going to for sure. So there you have it. This is the first figure, and this is just like a good warm up. So it's like if you're at a concert, you have like the what do they call that?
Pre-show.
The pre-show. Yeah. All right. And this is like a cool figure. I love it. But I'm gonna adjust the camera for this next one because y'all are gonna want to see this. And a lot of people didn't even have it in hand yet, which I'm super happy I was able to get my hands on it.
Do you want me to I can lay it in the box?
Yeah, that's a good idea. So we'll just lay that over there. You can just dump the rest of these pieces in there as well. And I'm gonna push this camera forward because I want you guys to be able to see this one. And this has been something I have been waiting for a long time, guys, like a long time. Yeah. I'll put this over here. All right. You guys ready for this? Let's see that.
I got it.
All right. Without further ado, he teased it earlier without even knowing it. We are going to unbox this beauty, the Mark 85 Avengers Endgame Iron Man. And may I just say that this is like, I've seen pictures of it. I have like wanted it ever since they announced it was going to be a release of summer 2019. Like this has been one that, other than that cap that I was talking about, has
it's expensive when the box looks like this.
So
it feels like this, right?
So first of all, this figure is fully die-cast metal, and so it's like wrapped really well. It's wrapped really well, and you're gonna see the armor, how like well it shines even with bad lighting. So let's open this up.
Do you have scissors somewhere or need scissors anymore?
I don't think I'm gonna need scissors for this.
Okay.
This box is like really badass. The box that they do on Hot Toys, guys, is so amazing. And if I had more room, I would keep them, but I don't. So
Back. There's just a lot of writing.
So that's and the writing on the back is those are all the artists that went into making this figure.
Yeah.
So kudos to these people because they are truly talented. I mean, and this is because it's die cast again. They basically ship it in like an interior foam box. So we're gonna open that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think my Hot Toys Han Solo was just in a normal plastic thing.
Yeah, most of
it was in die cast. I mean, frankly, that'd be weird if Han Solo was die cast.
Yeah, most of them are just regular boxes, but the only die cast ones that I know of, honestly, are like the Iron Man and the War Machine. And
wow,
oh my gosh, guys! All right, hopefully you guys can get a look at this.
If his new manager is watching this, this is where the money's going.
For real. This is just so sick. Oh, and all right, so we're gonna start off with, from what I've seen on the review videos already, with something that is extremely controversial, and that is the Tony Stark head sculpt that they included for this hot toy. Now, and I wish my camera would focus better. This head sculpt has gotten so much flack from people that collect hot toys. It's not even funny. Like, seriously is, because people were saying that the previous release of this, which was the Infinity War version of of Iron Man, had a much better Tony Stark head sculpt. Now, my first thoughts of this, looking at it in person, are it's not. No, I would not say I love it, but I do think that overall it's much better than I thought it would be. And yeah, I actually would display my Iron Man.
It's like, to me, it looks like his face is like too narrow towards the front.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks almost gaunt. I think they were trying to give him like a little bit older of a look. Yeah, he looks a little bit too gaunt in the cheeks.
This is like when he was out in space, and then
that's exactly it. That's exactly it. So the cheeks are a little too gaunt. If they had made his cheeks a little bit wider, I think they would have done a much better job. From looking at it like straight on, I don't really see Robert Downey Jr. to a T like I did with some of the other head sculpts. But when you look at it from the side, I'm already throwing it around. When I look at it from the side, I do see the profile and the likeness of him for sure. And I like too that they included a little bit more gray because obviously in Endgame, five years have passed since the events of Infinity War, so there's a little bit of an age gap.
Plus, I mean, he's probably stressed after all that.
I would say so. And he starts his life over basically and raises a kid. And so let's unbox this bad boy and wait till you feel how heavy this thing is. So, oh my God, guys.
Well, they have protective foam.
They even have protective foam in each one of the creases that you like basically can articulate the figure. Just because the edges of it are kind of sharp and could scuff up the rest of the body if they didn't do that. And that's only when it's getting shipped because you don't know like when it's going to be like thrown around and all that. But
he's got more under there. He has legs.
Look at this. God, it's so good.
Is it heavier than a lightsaber?
Yeah, it's. You want to feel it?
Yeah.
Look, wait. Hold on. Let me try to pop this up. You know what? I'm gonna mess with this when we're off the video. Let me give you guys a better look at the actual figure. So
does he come with alternate, or is the only alternate head the human head?
It's Stark's head sculpt. Okay. So that's the alternate.
Is it metal? Oh.
Yeah, it's die-cast metal. So it's like if you guys collect like antique cars, it's the same material like that.
The head might be plastic. I think the rest of them is metal, but I can't tell.
I love the gold on this armor. This is my favorite Mark suit that Iron Man has because of the gold arms. Here, go ahead, feel them.
Is it?
It's heavy, right?
Yeah. His legs down here. Okay, this is definitely die cast.
It's more of the bottom half of him that is.
I can't. Yeah, there's die cast throughout. There's some plastic on here, but there's definitely, he has a good weight to him. He probably weighs similar, maybe slightly heavier than the lightsaber from Galaxy's Edge. We were talking about lightsabers earlier.
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
okay.
So this, I love that they included this, and you can pop some batteries into this, which they include here, but they give you the Nano Gauntlet arm, which I will probably display mine with the Nano Gauntlet arm, just because it's super cool. But yeah, I mean, just the overall, the fact that they can even get this figure to articulate to as much as he does is actually like
It's a robot suit.
amazing. But like, if you think about with this metal and just the way that they make it, it's pretty awesome that they make these shoulder pads like pop out. It's the engineering behind it is really good. You're able to like pop these shoulder pads in and out. I don't want to get too fancy. The head sculpt is like, it moves up and down pretty dang easily. You're able to pop this part off too, and you can insert batteries in his head so that his
Eyes light up.
his eyes will light up.
Is that magnetic?
Yeah, it's magnetic. So Hot Toys has started making some of their products a little bit more magnetic. So like the jetpack on like the newest Boba Fett is magnetic,
Okay.
and same with the Beskar Mando. So I just like, I mean, this is terrible lighting, and it looks so cool.
He is like, he's, you know, we're talking about die-cast metal, a die-cast car. He looks like a die-cast car painted, like paint.
Yeah, right.
Just to describe the paint, it's like a metallic car paint.
So it comes with a neck piece. So if you want to pop that Tony Stark head sculpt on, you would have to pop this off. You pop this over the neck, and then you put the head sculpt in it. So it's supposed to kind of look
Natural.
a little bit more natural like that. And so that's how it would look on the figure. It's a little bit hard to see. There you go. Like that. So I'm going to have to decide if I want to do it like that. I'll probably end up getting the battle damage version like later on in the year when it comes out, and then display that head sculpt. But either way, it's so cool. So it comes with, and I guess I just want to drop all these pieces. It comes with a couple of extra hands, some of which you can articulate the fingers, some of them you can't. And then we haven't even gotten to the bottom of this package, which is like the base and all that. So whenever you get a die-cast figure, you actually have to take this foam piece off. And then underneath is where you'll find the extra pieces and the base. So here is the rest of what comes underneath the packaging. It looks like we get the base and that like little
Jetpack thing. Is that his?
it's not like a
It's this thing on his back, right?
yeah, so it's the thing that like basically it channels energy and it shoots lasers, so you're able to strap that on, and I'll do that real quick because it's not that hard. You just have to pop this piece out.
What's going on? They didn't use magnets there.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That would have been nice. Because, like, with this nice of a figure, you'd think they would have thought that one through a little bit. Usually, okay, here we go. So they're really good too, especially given how much money these things are. Like, thankfully, they do give you some, like, small tools if you need them. Here's the base, by the way. Here's the end game base. Then they make the, I don't know what you would call it, like the
Stand? Is that the stand for it?
yeah, I guess the stand.
Flight stand?
Yeah, like the flight stand. You would pop this little like arm on. It's like claw-looking thing so that it holds them in place. But it's really sturdy and hard to bend because with a figure that heavy, you got to be
You don't
able
want
to.
to fall over, yeah.
Yeah, it's just gonna keep falling over. So you have that, and then here are the little tools and the batteries that comes with. So it even comes with a tiny screwdriver because obviously with this figure, like the screws are going to be super small when you're going to light them up. So you have, oh, and this is new actually. I've never gotten this. They give you little tweezers too because it can get really hard to put these batteries in some of the smaller components.
At that point, give you a little magnetic stick you can just.
That would be a good
throw in
idea
and
too.
They have those for automotive mechanics.
Yeah, that would be a good idea too. So there's this small screwdriver that you're able to pop those batteries in. And then here's where you're able to use this tool as well to get into some of the more like creased areas of the figure that you don't want to like crack or break, especially with die casts. You want to be careful. So this is like a good little thing to use when you're like trying to pop these pieces out. So like I'm gonna go in the back here and use this to pop out his back.
And proceed to drop it on the
Like
floor.
that. I'm just dropping this thing. I'm just dropping it everywhere. My God. Okay, thankfully that didn't break.
It's just battle damage.
Yeah. You guys want to see me get like pissed on our live stream? That's probably the way to do it. Because I mean, as you guys know, these things are not cheap, and so if they break, it's, let's say, a bummer to say the least. But you just pop that in real quick like that, and then there you go. This is really cool. I honestly might even keep it like this. I didn't really think about it, but I love just like the way that looks. Almost like, I don't know, like almost like wings maybe.
Yeah.
So those are a couple of the features. Again, I'm not going to get too much into the like trying to pose them in different ways right now while we're on this live action, this like live stream video.
You look pretty actiony over there, Cody.
Yeah, right. But I do definitely want to get some cool pictures of it. I'm gonna post on my page as usual. And yeah, so there's just like one last little look before we get off here. And man, is this just, God, I love it. Definitely a top 3 favorite out of the Hot Toys I have displayed right now. Like, no doubt about it.
And he'll say that when the ones come out later this year. He'll be like, oh, these are my new top.
They're all just so amazing. It gets so hard to choose. But the thing that makes this one awesome is just the shine and the die cast. I love like a heavy figure like this because it feels like it's just so much more, what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, it's like hefty. It's just sturdier. It's nicer. So there you guys go. This is the Mark 85. This one people have been waiting for this one for a while. So it's up for sale on Sideshow. I think it's still for pre-order, but people are starting to get their orders from Sideshow. So you can order it there, and you're also able to get it. I got mine on Toys Wonderland, actually for a great deal. Normally they're jacked up because they're the first to get it, so their prices are a lot higher. But I did buy this one from there because it was going to get A, to me faster, and B, because it was actually cheaper, guys, than the Sideshow one, which is, I've never really seen that before, especially for a new release. So
Probably because everyone complained about the head sculpt. I don't know.
yeah, you know what? I didn't think that's probably what it was. I can almost guarantee you that's what it was actually. And there you have it. So that will do it for tonight. And for anybody watching this video either tomorrow or in the future, I hope you enjoy this as much as I do. I don't know. I might have to pop this Robert Downey Jr. head on. I'm going to have to see what I like better. But all right, guys. Good night, and we will see you next week. Mouse disappeared. It's right there.
No, it's like,
The mouse literally, guys, doesn't want to move.
no.
There we go. Now bye.